Okay, I'm out at Narrows Point here in Tacoma. These are apartments managed by Targa. They don't have an exact budget on this, but they've got to get a lot of curbs repaired in here. There's a combination of A-framed curbing, and then there's the typical curbing, the WSDOT standard 6x10 curb. So I'm gonna walk around this property. It's got two entrances. It's got one here. It's got one over here. It goes to the back of the building and comes back out. Okay. It's going to be important to know that because at the other entrance they want to do asphalt repair, and we'll have to shut that entrance down, and they'll have to use this. So as I'm walking, let's go through. I'm going to give a price for seal coat for 2025. This asphalt's it's a little rough. I mean, it could use like a full mill and repave. So I discussed with them about that. Said it'll probably stick, but you're gonna have some areas wear off sooner than others. And I even said within a year. On the curbs that we're looking at, some of them are really rough shape, but they need to be removed and replaced. And then we need to pressure wash all the curbing in here that's red, white, and yellow. And we need to get it prepped and ready for the repainting, because they want to repaint all the curbs. On this, you got to repaint it front and back. On the white curb where you see asphalt behind it, you have to paint both sides. On this curb, you got to paint both sides. On that curb, you got to paint both sides. So a lot of these curbs, you got to paint on all sides. You don't get to just paint the top and the face. You got to paint the back side as well. I would put probably 2 long days in here of pressure washing these curbs. They're really flaky. They've been painted white, they've been painted yellow, they've been painted red. I told them I can't get all the paint off. We'll do the best we can to try to make the paint stick as best as we can. And they understood. Okay? So curb removal, we've got 6 feet there in the front. And then we got a 10-foot piece there that we'll need to cut out from joint to joint. Okay, here we'll just bump out this A curb, put in curbing, and just kind of bring it to here and stop and leave an area for water to drain through. That way it doesn't look like we're trying to match up and transition into this curb. So we'll leave it short about a foot. Okay, this is A-frame curb. As best we can, we want to try to match this just to the end right there. Okay, that right there is going to be 9 feet of curb. Okay, 9 feet of curb there. Over there, we want to take out that full 12 feet of curb and replace it. This curb right here is super chewed up, so we'll take it out to here, which is 11 feet. 11 feet of curb to remove and replace there. You'll see that there's white painting on the face of the sidewalks. We need to power wash that and paint that white as well. Okay. These are all painted white. You see yellow sticking through or coming through the paint. It used to be yellow, but we want to paint it white all in here. All of this is white. Okay. This area right here, we've got 12 feet of curb to replace right there. Jamie, for you when bidding this, all the repairs I'm looking at are very typical. They're just broken loose and need to be replaced. For example, here's another one right here where we got to replace all the curb from the start over there. It starts right at the ramp, comes out to actually we'll stop right there where it's broken. Okay, so you've got 22 feet there, and then we'll pick up again at this point right here and remove this, which is about 16 feet there. 16 feet. Okay, all of this, just pressure wash, repaint. Because I'm doing a seal coat price for 2025, they told me to do a price for restriping the stalls and the stall numbers. There's 12-inch stall numbers on the ground. There's approximately 100 stalls in here, so I'm going to have some extra quantities from the customer as far as like how many ADA stalls are in here and stuff like that. So they're going to give that to me, and I'll have that put in on Workman's. You got your 12-inch no parking stencil right here. We'll just take it off right there at the curb there. So it's 6 feet of curb. This whole front entry right here, where the red is, and then you can see the newer asphalt. We need to do a saw cut right through here, and all the way over to the end, and then go all the way out to the sidewalk and replace all of this asphalt. It's approximately 4 inches, because you've got a 1 inch, 1.5 inch overlay on top of existing asphalt. So this whole entire area will be replaced, and we'll shut down that entrance, and everybody can come through that entrance. I was gonna say there's a possibility that you can go out that way, but I can't remember yet. Okay, so this curbing here, this is all busted up. We'll take it right there at the, right past the radius this way and get it replaced all the way up to here. So you got 40 feet of curb to this point right there, and we stop just before you hit the radius. Okay, we didn't talk about that right there, but this is a pretty bad pothole where we need to fix this right here. So we'll take this existing patch, go 9 feet by 15 feet right there. It's gonna get worse by next spring. So now we're at the bottom of the page, making our way back and getting ready to walk the back of the property. But before we do, we've got the section of curb right here. Okay, so we've got from that joint up to there. You can see that was replaced at one point. Okay, so you got about, oh, it is 35 feet from there to replace. And then it picks up again right here. Okay. So from there all the way down to there, you got 48 feet right here to replace. And then we're going to continue this. Another 56 feet right there, 56 feet to add on. This we're not going to replace. It's washed away on the bottom half, but it's all intact, so we're just going to keep it the way it is, clean it and paint it. Okay, there's curbing along the back side, but we're not doing any back perimeter cleaning on there. We're just leaving it alone. You got 12-inch visitors in the back here, which is, there's 8 of them. Right here we got remove and replace from just here to there, okay, which is 7 feet. We'll repaint the wheel stop up here. It's curbing. On the comprehensive striping, so we've got the base bid striping, which is the painted curbs. Okay, the striping comprehensive is going to be to paint everything because of the seal coat. Okay, so do not include the painted curb on that comprehensive price. Only the stalls and the stencils ADA symbols, that kind of stuff. No parkings. That'll be on the comprehensive price. But in that comprehensive striping price, I'd like to put in for another 8 hours of pressure washing in some of these areas where there's stall lines back here. It's kind of dirty, so we need some prep for the striping. On the seal coat prep work, we'll need to include probably another 8 hours of pressure washing behind curbs, stuff like that. So 1 full day of pressure washing for seal coat, another day for excuse me, I take that back. Since we're doing a seal coat and striping comprehensive price, just do the prep work on the seal coat, and that'll be a full day, probably 8 hours, and that'll cover doing any sort of cleanup on the stalls for the seal coat, and then that covers the striping as well. Okay, right here, we'll just have to take out this, like, what looks like about 10 feet of curb, and then what we have to do is we have to put in 13 feet of curb right here in its place. Okay, slurry adhesive. We need to paint that red curb on that step, and that's it for all the striping. And there is an exit out there. It says do not enter, but there is a way for cars to get in and out down there too. Seal coating would be done in phases. Yeah, seal coat will be done in phases. The asphalt will be done on a separate day. It'll be a 1-day job on the asphalt. The curb work looks like it could be about 2 days. The seal coating will have to be done in phasing, so that'll be more than likely a 2-day job with an extra day on power washing for seal coat, and then there's 2 days of power washing on curbs to paint the curbs. And there's this lot over here. So now I am up where my thumb is, up on that part of the lot. So this is the third area, which, you know, you can see you got visitors all down this stretch here. There's like 10 of them. We don't have to paint the curb on the outside, but we have to paint all this curb, fix this extruded curb here in these 2 parking stalls. So that's 18 feet there. Paint all the curb white here. We'll paint this curb white until it hits the 90-degree corner. And that's all the painting on the curbs that we would do. So there's actually 3 entrances, but this one just goes to its own parking lot. Oh, and I said 10 visitors. There's actually 12.